Yeah. So who we got next?
I just googled Tennessee. It's Tennessee.
Tennessee. Okay. So Tennessee has a guy who I want to make sure he's at a decent spot on the board here. Where he's there, but this guy is there. Okay. You know what? I like this guy. Maybe reaching up the board a little bit, you know. But let's get him out there. You know, let's get him on him. Great. I just want to talk about this guy too. Great nickname. So
I think you and I have the same guy.
They let Jarrell Casey walk.
Yup.
That D-line needs a little bit of beef in it. Let's get Neville Gallimore.
You're goddamn right. You're goddamn right.
Canadian Bulldozer.
Real quick. Trying to give us as few spoilies as possible. Neville Gallimore right there on my draft pick for Tennessee. For those exact reasons. I think Neville Gallimore, I think he reminds me a little bit of Haloti Ngata. Where he's just like, he's a nose tackle who I think is going to push the pocket kind of a lot. He's just a monster. He's just always in the backfield. He's fast. He works really hard. If you watch his highlights, there are several times where he forces a fumble like 10 yards upfield. Like, the play has gone 10 yards upfield.
Like he doubles back?
He catches up at like 340 pounds and smacks the ball out of his hand. I mentioned the freak list earlier that like has Isaiah Simmons and Tristan Wirfs. He's number 3 on that list. He's behind those two, I believe. I'm so sorry. It's your pick. I just got so excited because I also.
That's about it. And this guy seems like a Mike Vrabel guy.
Yeah.
Like motor, intensity, size, physicality. Like I think defensive coach standing there looking at a way to beef up his D line. You know, for a team that had a really good defense last year. I think it's just he slides in nice, you know.
Yeah. Yep. Agree.
All right. You got Green Bay at 30.
All right, barbecue Seth.
Seth barbecue Seth in the chat. Get ready to let us know what you think.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on
Dan?
the
What are you thinking for Green Bay at 30?
I am thinking. So I had them in mind taking Jalen Reagor. I think the number one thing they need is another weapon for Aaron Rodgers. Let's see, Neville Gallimore. That said, with Reagor and Mims gone, I'm not as sure. I really like T. Higgins. I think he's a bit of a repeat of what they already have, you know? Like, I think like his upside is a Devontae Adams.
Right.
But like that said, they just need weapons, and it just might be the move to be like, who is good at receiver? Take that guy. So take T. Higgins.
So Barbecue Seth says he wants Ayuk or Pittman Jr., but if Herbert is there, they jump on him.
All right, so Herbert is here. Do you want us to take Herbert for you? We will take Herbert for you.
Honestly, I would be ecstatic if the Packers took Ayuk, Pittman Jr., or Herbert, because those are 3 prospects that I feel pretty confident saying will not be superstars. Like, those are the 2 highest ranked wide receivers that I don't like, and the quarterback that I don't like. So please, please, please take. I do not want a world where T. Higgins goes to the Packers. I want a world where one of these guys goes to the Packers.
See, I actually am a Pittman believer. I think Pittman will be good. I am not an Ayuk believer, even kind of. I think Ayuk is like a punt returner only.
What I also feel like we can't doubt the fact that being in Green Bay would take some gas out of his YouTube career. That he would his girlfriend's gonna just be like stuck at home Instagramming, you know, stuff around the house. It's not exciting.
Yeah.
Like,
she's
oh my gosh,
currently
so much
in
snow.
LA. She's in the ideal place to be a YouTube star.
Favre, Rodgers, then Herbert. 45 years of QBs.
Do you want me to take Herbert? I will take Herbert.
Yeah, let's take Herbert. Let's do it.
All right, man. If I tweet this out, I'm going to write, like, fan pick Justin Herbert. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't believe in this pick at all. I think, Barbecue Seth, love you, buddy. I think this is a mistake. I think you are being look, as a Denver Broncos fan, let me tell you, you don't want a 6'6" QB who was never that good in college. That's not a winning combination.
I love it. This is great. This is the pick. I'm hoping for this pick now. Let's see what happens.
Oh man! All right. Well, we'll put on Justin Herbert in the background while you pick for San Francisco.
I'm glad we got him in there. I'm glad we got Herbert in there.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Man, Seth, I am surprised at you. You are someone who I've talked a lot of football with, and I would have never pegged you as a Justin Herbert guy.
That's a pick in the pros.
Yeah.
You're telling me that the wide receiver makes this catch. Yeah, that's a pick. Yeah, let me just backpedal, throw off my back foot across my body to a wide receiver. He destroyed the Badgers in the Rose Bowl. Yeah, he had a good Rose Bowl.
I understand that. I get that. That happens to me too. You get like starry eyes after a player beats up your team, and then they join your team, and you're like, oh no, I was wrong.
This is a flea flicker. Okay. All right. Well, Justin Herbert continues the legacy of quarterbacks in Green Bay.
Uh-huh.
Can I do pick 31? San
Francisco?
It's all you.
It's all you, my friend. Go for it.
Okay. So San Francisco, I see going wide receiver and corner with their 2 first-round picks. I could see Lynch trading out of the first round here, get a little extra ammo, for one of those teams that maybe wants to get like a Herbert or a Love on a 5-year first-round deal.
Yep.
But if they stay pat, which may or may not happen, I see them going cornerback here. Let's go A.J. Terrell out of Clemson, a winner to match up with John Lynch's winning mentality. Just the next most valuable corner off the board. Seems like a good match of need and value. There it is.
Yep. Yeah. I like it. I like AJ Terrell. I think he got demolished by LSU, but who didn't?
Right.
Yeah. All right. Ooh! I get to make my pick for Kansas City, which is this is one of my favorite types of picks, which is a player who normally I wouldn't like going to a team where I think they will be used ideally. I have the Kansas City Chiefs taking Xavier McKinney, the safety out of Bama, who I am not overall a huge believer in, but Kansas City doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. One arguable weakness is that they are a little meh in the secondary. And what Xavier McKinney is incredibly versatile, and he allows you to put Tyrann Mathieu, treat him as a corner in certain matchups. So, you need to shut out a player for a game, just use Tyrann Mathieu as a corner that game. Get him out of there. Put Xavier McKinney in. I think his comparison on there is that Eagles guy, Malcolm. Why can't I think of his name?
Jenkins.
Malcolm Jenkins. I think that's a decent comparison. I don't love him in coverage. I think he's typically more helpful in the box. But I think he's good, and I think he gives some flexibility in that defense that I think he makes the most sense with Kansas City of anywhere. What do you think?
I'd have to really look at how many safeties and corners they're going to have on the field on any given play. Because they have Rashad Breeland, Charvarius Ward, Juwan Thornhill, and Tyrann Mathieu as the 4 guys in the secondary, which seems like a pretty solid 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you think Tyrann Mathieu is going to drop down into the nickel, and that opens up a 5th position, and you think, maybe Daniel Sorensen is more of a rotational guy than a starter, I could see Xavier McKinney carving out a role here, especially if you consider the fact that, the depth at that position would let him have sort of a slow learning curve, slow introduction. They could use him when they needed to, give him specific roles, and kind of introduce him into the defense more and more.
Yeah. And I think, he strikes me as a player where I think I might be underrating him because I don't understand his role in the larger scheme. You know what I mean? When I hear Dominique Foxworth, I listened to a podcast with him recently, and and he was raving about Xavier McKinney, and I was like, I must just not see, like, there must be something there that, like, you have to understand football at a higher level than I understand it to totally get what his value is. And the more I started watching their corners at Bama, the more I started being like, oh, he was probably relegated to more of an in-the-box role because they didn't need him to help with coverage over the top, because they just had solid corner play already. They were like less worried about players getting deep. Yeah.
Cool.